All right, guys. So today I'm going to be speaking about how do we know that God spoke to the Jewish people in Sinai. So I heard a speech from Rabbi Kellerman, and he explained it in a very logical way, where there's a lot of moving parts. And if I say it very well, maybe you guys could repeat it also. Now, his speech was in the premise that if something is not true, no, it's not, if something is not a lie, then it's most probably true. The three lies that could be possibly made about about God's about the mass revelation from God to the Jewish people could have either happened in the past, the present, or the future. And if either one of those three don't work, then we can see that it's most probably true. So here we go. Let's explain each one. Let's explain future first. Future would mean that Moses spoke to the Jewish people and said, "Behold, here's your God. Your God is going to speak to you in the future. He's gonna appear to you in the future." Now we know that didn't happen because it's already documented, right? It's already documented that that um that that God already revealed himself. So the future theory doesn't work. Now let's go to some more complicated ones. The past theory. The past theory is very interesting. The past theory would suggest that some guy would say that Moses or Moshe spoke to the Jewish people and God revealed himself to him. And now you guys don't know anything. And I'm Avi or Fred or whatever. And I'm going to tell you that this actually happened. And there you go. That's what happened. So let's prove it that is actually false. That the past theory does not work. The reason the past theory doesn't work is because there will have to an event in history has to happen where all of the Jewish people forgot about Moses and Sinai and everything, right? And the only way that could happen is through a mass epidemic. The greatest destruction to the Jewish people was the Holocaust. And even in the Holocaust, people did not forget the Torah. So we can see that there would always be a link between now, about the Torah that we know now, and what was revealed from Hashem before. Additionally, we would also historically know who this guy was, right? We would know who this guy was that told us that Moses spoke to the Jewish people and blah 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 blah, and he said the Ten Commandments and this and that. No one knows who this guy is, so we could see that the past theory doesn't work either. Additionally, like something interesting that I heard on the speech is that Rabbi Kellerman, what he did, he made a project, him and his rabbi and his rabbi's rabbi, with 4 independent sources telling the people that indeed one of the rabbis was the person's rabbi and the next rabbi was this rabbi, and it traced all the way back to Moshe, right? So that's the biggest proof that he was able to solidify that it's not a broken link, that there's still a link there. Now let's go to the present theory. The present theory suggests that let's say I'm Moses, right? And I'm talking to the Jewish people, and here I said that here's God, he's going to speak to you, and God reveals himself right now. Everything is happening right now. I say it to your face, like for example, there's a calculator in front of your face, and that's what it is, right? So how can we prove that that won't work, right? So let's talk about the Applewhite theory. So in San Diego, a long time ago, in the 1970s, I believe, there was this man named Marshall Hearst Applewhite, where he started a cult, and he convinced a bunch of people to commit mass suicide. And how did he do it? He didn't let anyone know. He didn't let anyone know where he got his things from, meaning that all of his revelations came to him. It wasn't mass revelation, it was singular revelation, right? So based on this theory, people concluded that humans will believe in anything, and they will believe in anything as long as it's not testifiable. Let's look at every single religion in the world. Christianity, Paul went to a desert and he found Jesus resurrected, and he came back and says that Jesus is coming back. Now, only Paul saw, no one else saw. So now let's take another example. What's it called? Islam. Muhammad, he went to the cave. He saw the angel Gabriel, and Gabriel revealed the Quran to him, and he revealed it to the rest of the people. Based on that, we see that people will believe anything. People need to connect to some type of religion, to something, right? Now, if they don't, now the problem is that this was only single revelation. From an academic perspective, there's zero credibility. There's zero credibility because it could be that this person is lying or he's saying the truth, right? Now, let's talk about the Jewish people, right? The Jewish people, what happened was that was mass revelation. God spoke in front of 3 million people. And now let's remember the clauses. The clauses from Applewhite theory states that people will believe anything as long as it's not testifiable. Now, if I say in front of your face that God is speaking to you right now, would you believe me? Probably not, because you don't hear him speaking. So the most testifiable lie is for me to tell you in front of your face that God is speaking to you. And from the fact that 3 million people believed it, it's a clear indication that it actually happened. So you could always say that there's 3 million people that were deranged, right? The Jewish people, they were just a bunch of retarded people, and they just decided to believe anything that someone says, right? What are the chances of that happening? Probably not going to happen. So I choose not to believe in that Jewish people were deranged people, because we see already that we got 50% of the Nobel Prizes. And now, additionally to that, we know that history repeats itself, and that anything that happens in nature, everything happens in nature happens more than once. Mass revelation only happened once in the entire history of the world, which was the revelation from God to the Jewish people. Now, singular revelation happened in every other religion, right? So since that is natural to happen, since singular revelation is not natural to happen, and mass revelation is not natural to happen, that means that something above nature caused it to happen. So what I think, what Ray Kellerman was speaking about, is that since mass revelation is not natural, something above nature, which is God, caused it to happen. So let's review. Past theory doesn't work because there was no such epidemic that happened that would cause the Jewish people to forget everything, and we don't know who Fred is. Future theory doesn't work because of past and present theory, because we know that God already revealed himself, right? It already happened. Present theory doesn't work because present theory doesn't work because the most testifiable lie that you could say to someone is that it's happening right now. From the fact that everyone believed it, that means it clearly happened. And not only that, you compare other religions to the Jewish religion is the only religion that had mass revelation. Therefore, since mass revelation is against nature, something above nature caused it to happen, and therefore it was God that caused it to happen, right? So that's pretty much it for what I'm talking about, right? So that's pretty much it for how do we know that God actually spoke to the Jewish people in Sinai. And I hope you all can repeat it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. See you guys soon.